Following my interview with Renee, I interview my main man behind the scenes, Joe. Joe is my guy, and he makes everything go. We've had many chats about love, life, and how to live. But this is the first time he's gotten in front of the camera, and I'm here for it. We also talk about how things don't necessarily have to be on the internet to be permanent. Let's jump back in.
He was a guy that I wish I had I don't know, not the ability to be, but he was the things and that I guess that I wasn't. Like he would do, like I don't know. Can I tell you what he was doing the first time I saw him? I mean, his kids might not be very happy about it. It wasn't super crazy or anything. We were in the pool it was at the pool party because I had shown up. I met you guys at the pool party, and it was the one where DJ Silver happened to be whatever DJing, and somebody knew him, and he was like in the pool just dancing with a bunch of these big black girls just dancing, and I'm like, who is that? And I was like, and I remember this, like that was listening. You were like, that's my husband. That's Jared. I was like, that's your husband? She goes, yeah, that's just Jared. And I go, well, that's just Jared. All right, I love this guy. Like from then on, and he's just. Like you said, he's like Jackson he looks like you, but he's definitely Jared's son, to the point of where like he is the guy at every party that everybody knows who he is, right? Because he's just a very personable person. And because of that, I'm not that guy. Like I'm the guy I feel like I'm a pretty good person. I'm a good dude. And once you get to know me, like I'm loyal and I'm one of those people. Oh, no, he's coming back. But at the same point, I'm not a super, super outgoing person. Right. Like, I'm a pretty reserved person. I put kind of like as a joke on my Instagram, I'm aggressively laid back, but I feel like it's pretty accurate as to who I am, is that I'm a pretty laid back person. And at times I can kind of come out of my shell.
Well, I feel like anybody can do that.
Yeah, I think that's true.
But do you feel comfortable around the people you're doing it with? Like,
right.
Like, so let's talk about me being around guys. So your 30th birthday.
Right.
I never met any of those guys.
None of them. Me, Scott, and Tom.
I knew
think
Tom,
is what it was. Yeah.
Right. But like, they were all they were all laid back and no one made you feel pressured. It was not like no stress sales.
No.
Right? But
I don't fuck around with people like that for too long. So
but that's just those are my type of people. Like right. I am the low key person. I don't like drama, I don't like stress, I don't like petty. So it's hard for me to find those type of people because I don't know. I think in a previous life I was a male, or I will be in my next life. Like
what's funny is I credited, like I started thinking a lot about this when I became friends with Scott and I started meeting more of his friends. And I realized that he's a very talented person in the area of picking people to last. I guess if that makes sense in your life, right? Like right. He picks people and he invests in people, and the people that he invests in are worthy enough to be the people that you invest in, right? Like,
and you want around for a long time,
right? And I guess I didn't really equate it to maybe he was just a little bit older than me and he had weeded out all the people that didn't matter anymore. Because when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of people that I were in my group that I knew.
Well, you do weed out people as you get older,
right? And I think that because I've always had friends that were older than me. Like I've always been my forte, or whatever you want to call it, is that I've always
kind of where you fit in.
Yeah, like I feel like emotionally I've been a little bit more mature than people my age. I never really had time for the bullshit and all the nonsense and drama and all that. And so when I met people that were a little bit older, I was like, oh, these are the people that need to be around, right? And Scott was one of those people. And when Scott started introducing me to his friends, I'm like, okay, well, there are certain friends that he'll introduce me to that I'm like, okay, yeah, those are interesting people, and I've met those people, and they're important to him, but not so much to me. And there are the people that he's introduced me to, like you and Jared and like Jay and even Tom and people that I met that I'm like, these are people you invest in. These are just really good people who have good morals, who invest in the people that they want to invest in. And when you both put that investment in, that's where that lasts, right? And I think that's why everybody I invited on that trip has been in my life long enough that I go, look, everybody, they're all there. These are the right dudes. And I invited you, and it was like, I knew you. I had no doubt in my mind you were gonna fit in perfectly. You were the only girl that got invited, and I was like, and that's like exactly how I wanted it, because it was exactly like that. Like that was my favorite trip I've ever had, honestly, because it had everybody that I wanted there, and everybody showed up at different times. You know, it was kind of perfect. And that last night that everybody was there, it was craziness and it was fun. And we have to talk about it, but it was great. Like it was just so much fun. And I feel like everybody on that trip was just, like you said, I didn't plan anything. Right. I didn't say, hey, at this time we have to do this, and at this time we have to do that. I said, hey, look, if on this night we're all here, we can have dinner, cool. If not, whatever, do what you want. And we all did what we wanted, and then we all met up when we wanted to.
I feel like there was like a daily event. Like there was like
we did
one thing we kind of did together every day, like one thing every day.
Yeah.
But then everything else was kind of, and like people would kind of group together and go off and hit other groups and stuff like that. And I think that was what was really cool about it, is that like we had kind of one thing we did, but then nobody cared what else you did.
And we were in Mexico. There was
a
million things to do.
I truly, as an introvert, like our speed date dinner.
Oh yeah,
was my favorite, because I knew everybody as a group.
Yeah.
And I felt like so here's my thing about me is I know right away if that person's going to be somebody I need to invest my time and energy in, or somebody I'm going to meet tonight, say a couple words with, have a drink with, and then never talk to again.
I'm the same way.
And so those guys, within meeting them within an hour or two, I was like, yeah, like these are good people. And so I knew them as a whole. So when we made that speed date dinner and I got to sit down with each of them for like 30 minutes or so and really talk to them, I was like, I love them even more. Like, and maybe I won't see them for a long time, but I remember them and they were fun. And if I see them again, I would be happy to hang out with them. It wouldn't be like, oh God, they're here again. Right. So And that's part of being introverted, is I know the people I want to invest my time in. And it's hard when it's the people you don't, because I can't fake it. And that is a very big personality flaw of mine. I can't fake the smile. I can't fake the niceties. I come across as a bitch, and that really used to eat me up younger. But now I'm just like, listen, you're not going to see me again tonight. So
have you noticed that the older you get, and the more you realize that that's how you are, the less able you are.
Absolutely.
It's so bad. Because I've noticed that too. Like I get older and I realize that like I am bad at this, and I know I'm bad at it. And because I know I'm bad at it, I go, this is about to be the most awkward conversation I'm about to have ever. And you're married and have been for a while, and you've been with Jared even longer. So dating. Like imagine doing that with dating.
I can't imagine.
It is excruciating.
Jared and I talk about all the time. I don't know what I would do if I had to date
He always said that if I ever got divorced, I would just sit at home and wait for the girl to show up on my doorstep, because I'm not going out looking for her.
I would think I would just be single for the rest of my life.
He happened to just find her again, because that's just how Scott is. He attracts people to his life. But like for me, like in dating and all through my 20s, enjoying my 20s, and in my 30s going, okay, now I'm in my 30s, I'm 32, not that far in, but I go, look, this is that time where like, you should probably start looking for your person at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like my clock's running out or anything. Like I'm fine. And if I never find that person, it is what it is. But I go, look, I wouldn't hate finding that person, but I know immediately, like you said, you go, I especially with all the apps and everything nowadays, like you go,
I can't
you know what?
imagine.
I don't even want to text. Let's just go and get a drink and meet. And I do that. And then when we go and do that, I know within 15 seconds, I'm like, nah, ain't gonna happen. And then I have to sit there for like an hour
I
and
know.
be polite and go like, look,
How excruciating.
I know this is never gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
can I ask a quick question?
Yeah. I know you're gonna ask something that I don't want to answer, but go for it.
How could you possibly know someone in 15 seconds?
It's a chemical
It's a vibe.
thing, dude.
You
It's a
just
chemical
know.
vibe. It's something. Like, look, and it may be just how I'm wired that I just. It's not like I just go, oh no, this kind of annoys me about that person. Like it's not that, because if that was what it was, I could go, maybe that's just something that I can look past, right? That's not how it is. It's like literally it's inside me going, I don't want to be in this situation anymore, and I need to leave. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, look, like this, and they can be a very pleasant person. There's nothing against the person that I'm with. Like it's just it's all about, everything is about chemical attraction, right? And pheromones and all these different things that we have no control over, or things we don't even know about, right? And when you meet, because it happens the opposite too. When I meet the person that I'm really interested in, like it happens fast, and I'm like, this is it, and then I'll put a lot of effort into it, and when it doesn't work out, it hurts, right? But at the same time, the opposite, I can just be like, nah, not gonna happen, and I am not hurt at all when it doesn't work out. And in fact, I'm looking for reasons for it not to work out, because I go, look, this is great, this wasn't gonna happen anyways. Let's just go ahead and call it quits. That's my take on it. Like I don't know if you have a different take.
Well,
but
you can also feel like you have a connection with someone right away, and then you really get to know them more. And then the more you get to know them, you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought I signed up for. And
yeah, that's happened.
like
Let
with
me-
and I'm just talking with friends, relationships. Like I've met people that I thought, oh, this could really be someone I could be a friend with. But then you hang out with them in a social setting and you see how they are, and you're just like, no, it's not really my jam, And I've lost friendships that way, because one-on-one we're great. Like
Right.
I love hanging out with them when it's just us. But when we're in a social setting or alcohol's involved, they turn into this other person, and it's just this like Jekyll and Hyde type of thing. You're like, I can't handle that obnoxiousness. And two, is like, I just don't want to be a friend with that.
I think you've described every actual relationship I've been in, because not to their fault either. It's just like you said, though, you find someone that you're like, yes, me and you make sense, but you introduce them to your friends and they don't like any of your friends, or
Yeah.
they can't get along
that's
with your
hard,
social
too.
group. And like, how can someone that I feel so strongly about not get along with the people that I love? Like,
Right.
Because you
It's-
misread them.
no, I don't think that's necessarily the thing. I think that just because you connect with a certain person doesn't mean that they connect with every other person that you like, right? Like,
But that's a big factor.
did you ever think it is? But did you ever have a friend? So I always had this problem. Like whenever I wanted to have a party, right? My 30th birthday was the one that I finally was like, I'm not inviting anybody that I have any questions about at all. I'm inviting the people that I know I want to be friends with, and I know people that I want to be there. And I invited some people that couldn't make it, right? And they would have been just fine, additions to the party or whatever. But my thing is like, before that party, I was like, oh man, I don't want to have a birthday party, because I have so many different friends from so many different like groups and so many,
Right.
and I'm close with all of them, but they will not get along.
Right.
And I just know they won't.
Yeah.
But those aren't the people that last. You know what I mean? Like they're the people.
That's also not your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Truth, but
But it also becomes uncomfortable if it's
right,
it
won't be fun. Like
Right.
I'll be worried about it the whole time, right? And so that, but my point is that like there are people that will last in your life, as far as like you're gonna keep track of them and you're gonna talk to them and you're gonna care about what happens to them and all that. But they're not the people that you're like, hey, you need to fly across the world, all across the country, and come to Mexico for my birthday.
Yeah.
Like Hondo and PJ spent a lot of money coming down to Mexico.
Did they?
Because it was like Easter weekend and it was like
That's
super
right.
expensive
That's right.
flights.
That's
and
right.
they were like, we spent like a lot of money coming. I was like, I fucking love you guys. Like
But
you
they had
guys
fun,
did.
right?
They no, it was a great
Okay.
trip. But they were just like, any other weekend would have been better. Joe,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, it was like, I didn't realize
Yeah.
how crazy it was for them to fly from California down, right?
Yeah.
Because I have my California friends, and talk about Sam. My buddy Sam flew from Seattle.
Right.
I can't imagine how expensive that flight was, right? But he didn't think twice. They
Yeah.
all were like, no, we'll be there, no problem. You know what I mean? And They didn't complain about it. They were just like, no, it just is what it is. Like we of course we're gonna be there. Just like I drop everything and go to whatever is their thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how it is, you know, and that's how it should be. I think the people that you invest in are the people that are worth being invested in.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think I think that those are the moments where who you thought that person was and who they were matched, right? So when we talk about instances in which, like, why do I have a person in my life that no one else in my life likes? It's a mismatch for you. You're seeing it one way and they're seeing it another way. Does that make sense? And so that's why it comes off such like an odd like thing. You follow me?
Yeah. I think that's
but
possible,
I think that just goes back to the point of what I was saying before is that, like, I'm going to give you this example. Okay. At Jared and Renee's wedding, I got so drunk, I hit Jared's mom with a chair.
Like I forgot
I've
about
heard
that.
this story, yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to tell us. We don't need to get in the story.
Don't need to rehash.
R.I.P. Mama T.
Mhm.
So it was an
R.I.P.
accident.
R.I.P.
Don't
Yes,
make
it was
sound,
an accident.
don't make it sound like
Absolutely,
you, like,
absolutely.
got pissed and hit her with a chair.
Right. It was not a fight.
Hey, R.I.P. Mama T. Look up on the wall. Look at look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Tudor's mom. You know Tudor's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's an homage to Jared's mom. From you see it?
No,
See the
I
pink-
don't.
the
The
elephant
pink
right
elephant
there
up there.
next to Biggie.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see
Yeah.
it. Yes.
It was the nameplate's kind of poor. We don't have to talk about it. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is, you know what kind of person I am or what I'm trying to be. You know what kind of person I am and trying to be.
Not at all.
There
no.
were people that were there for 15 seconds at Jared's wedding that saw that was like, that guy is a lunatic. And that's the stamp judge that they made in 15 seconds. So I said 15 minutes, 15 seconds of what they saw at that wedding. That's not me.
Right.
So that's really unfair. And so I can understand not having like, you kind of meet a person. You're like, I don't know if I'm really physically attracted to him. I kind of talk to him. I'm not vibing it. I totally get that. But like, I just wanted to say, like, it's incredibly possible to even know anything of anyone in 15 seconds. It's just like you're going on a feeling, which is fine. That's your feeling, right?
I think that there's truth to that, but I also think that people are all wired different, right? And,
Absolutely.
And I think that certain people are a little more in tune to deciding that faster than others, if that makes sense. I don't know if you feel like you're that way, but I feel like I'm wired to where I can realize that faster than some people. And
I mean, maybe 15 seconds is a really quick
I
snap
mean, okay,
judgment.
look, and
Let's
I think
talk about like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not saying like I sit down with him and go, no, and I'm done. Like that's not how that works.
But you
Okay.
can also very quickly make a judgment on attraction. Like some people you meet, you're just naturally attracted to. And I'm not saying sexually, but something about them attracts you to them. Maybe it is the way they look. Maybe it's the way they smile. Maybe it's the way they talk. Maybe it's I don't know. It could be a lot of things, but that's going to immediately want you to start the conversation with them to see if it leads to more than just the physical.
yes.
And then somebody opens their mouth and you're like, and no. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like it can be that, for me, it can be that quick.
I think that there needs to be, like everything else, there needs to be a balance
Well, yeah.
between that and the problem that I think that your kids generation and probably mine is that everything is so easy now, right? And you meet people with apps and all these things, and you're constantly meeting a million people online, and you don't have to go out to bars and meet people anymore. Like you can meet them.
Well, people don't know how to do the interpersonal
Right.
relationship stuff anymore.
But I think that also this idea of perfection has become this thing that you're seeking, right? And this like everything has to be 100% perfect. And I have reevaluated myself and what I'm looking for based on this, because I actually had this conversation with my mom and she goes, I don't know how you guys find anybody.
Right.
Because
What
Because-
you find online isn't
right,
what you actually get when you
because
show
everything
up.
is fake, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has filters. Everybody's showing their best self, especially on social media, because you get to choose exactly how you look every time you post anything,
Yeah,
right? You meet the person and it's not the person you thought that they were,
yeah.
and you go, well, this is a disappointment. You're not who I thought you were. This isn't what I want.
So before
We're
they even
shutting
open
it-
their mouth,
right, we're
they've
shutting
already
it-
set
we're
up
shutting
for
it down.
disappointment. Yeah.
Right. And so she's like, I don't understand how you're ever going to meet anybody if you're comparing every single person you meet to their social profile, because that's not who they really are.
But what are you supposed to go
most
off
of the time. You got to meet them.
I know, but if you're
Right.
meeting them,
But the
that
problem
means
is
you've
that
met them online somewhere first.
before you would meet somebody, you had no idea who they were before you met them.
no, I know, because
Now
you're
you're
randomly
meeting
meeting
them.
at a bar
Right
or a
now, you're
restaurant or
meeting
whatever
a
you do.
social profile, and you're like, "This isn't what you said you were." Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And the problem is that disappointment happens so abruptly versus like you meet someone and you go, "This isn't someone that I would talk to anyway."
yeah,
So then you don't bother going up and talking to them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that starts to kind of reprogram how your brain works to the point where you're just like, well, I need to find this perfect person, and this person isn't it. This person isn't it. This person isn't it. And you start to get to this point where you're like, well, am I ever going to find this perfect person? No, you're never going to find a perfect person.
No.
That doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
But because your brain is so programmed to find perfection, because it's shown perfection all the time online,
Because you think it does exist.
right? You go, how do I
Right.
reprogram myself now to go, look, nothing's perfect. You got to just find someone that you fucking get along with long enough, and someone that keeps shit interesting. That's all I'm looking for now, really.
Yeah.
Is like someone that surprises me on a regular basis, that keeps it interesting, that goes, hey, like, I think I always take this example. I got it from a movie. It's like this example of like,
Is it a rom-com?
I think I might try and grow weed. Why? Just to see if I can. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
If I walked in on my like significant other and they were like growing weed in the kitchen, I go, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she goes, I don't know. I just want to see if I could. I go, that's amazing. Like that's just a hilarious thing to walk in on and go, that I would never have expected, right? And since you, again, this is from the movie, but since you have to marry someone for such a long time, and it's a long, long time.
It's a long, long time, Renee.
Long,
Like
long,
they might as well be someone that
long,
keeps things interesting for a long time, right? Like someone that
long
surprises you.
time.
Erin probably surprises you on a daily basis,
Oh yeah,
right? She's a very eccentric person. She's very unique. She does a lot of weird stuff.
It's what I love about her.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like if and it's also unfair to put on someone. Like they shouldn't have to be this super
Yeah.
eccentric person to do that. But
But if that's what you want,
right, then that's something that you should look for.
Exactly.
Somebody that's not going to be the same.
Because there
the
is
same
somebody
thing.
out there like that.
Right. There's somebody, and there's not the perfect person in the world because most people probably wouldn't like what that's
Well,
going
and that
on,
would
you
be
know?
weird
Like,
if somebody was perfect. Think of how weird that would be.
fucking insanely
You'd be-
weird.
It would be.
I would be like,
It's-
what
it's-
is-
But
Hey,
would they really be
people,
perfect?
like-
Because they'd be perfect in your eyes, but they may not be perfect in my eyes.
No, but what I'm
So
saying
that's
is,
really
if, like,
perfect?
if you met
No.
somebody that was like
It doesn't
weirdly
happen.
perfect, you're a psycho killer. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
weird. So it's like when you accept
What
the
are you
fact that
hiding?
people are going to have faults, just go like, hey, what is this person's faults? These are what they are. These are the ones you're going to accept. Do I accept them? Yes. Okay, move on. If you don't, then you move on. You know what I'm saying? Like either move forward with it or decide like these are things I'm not going to accept because everybody's going to have bumps.
They're clearly hiding something. Clearly. They're perfect. Everyone has issues. This is how it works.
Because
And-
everybody's not a rope. They're human.
right. And I used to think that I was getting to an age, I'm like, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, cause you get to like your, and this is unfair to say, and it's kind of judgmental, but I'm gonna say it. You get
I know
to
you are.
you get to your late 20s.
I'm getting tequila.
Listen, you get
Let's
to your
do
late
it.
20s and you get to a point where you're like, who is your dating pool at this point, right? And it's a lot of people who've been married and were married for a couple of years, didn't work out. Now they're divorced.
By your late 20s, this is what
Like,
you're.
yeah, like 27, 28, something like that.
Okay.
That it's either that, someone who was in an extended relationship that didn't work out for a while, someone who has kids and is divorced, or someone who has kids and isn't divorced, who's had kids with
Oh.
somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you start to go and you go, okay, look, do I want to be a quote unquote stepfather, right? And that's a weird thing to throw out right away because you're just dating this person. But at that same point, if they have kids, like that's a responsibility you have to be willing to accept.
Yeah.
And if that
and you feel like that's
person-
something you need to know right away.
Right. And if
Yeah.
that person doesn't make that a big deal right away, I kind of looked at it as a red flag because like I go, look, yeah, you're right.
Like they
look,
don't tell you right away.
Not necessarily that as much as like they go, no, I have kids, but don't worry about it. It's not a big like you know, they have a dad. I'm not looking for a dad for them. I go, look, yeah, I understand that. Like I'm not there to be their dad, right?
Right.
But I am going to be
But they kind of brush it off.
Well, that, and I'm going to be a male figure in their life if this works out.
Right.
And that's a responsibility that I have to be willing to take.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an asshole.
And not only does
like
she have to be okay with it, but the dad has to be okay with it because.
Right.
I really want to talk about how we're being so moderate about this tequila. This is only our second shot in like 3 hours. So
so a moderately good tequila. It's actually pretty moderate when it comes to tequila as well.
Well, for this tequila.
I'm not going to tell people who it is.
I don't even know what tequila it is, honestly.
It's not yummy.
It's
I'll
not
leave it at
great.
that. But listen, we got really spoiled at the restaurant because I'm like going to go find a bottle of that stuff now.
Yeah, it was Hornitos.
Black.
Hornitos.
Black label. Oh,
No. Hornitos
Barrel.
barrel aged.
Barrel aged black.
Black barrel.
Yeah.
Black barrel
God,
tequila.
Scott, that's
Amazing.
awful.
Lupe Tortilla, black barrel
Shout out to the bartender.
black barrel margaritas at Lupe Tortilla, everybody.
Which I thought he said it was called a. Never mind.
Black girl? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not black girl.
Which I would totally been down for it too, but
You
whatever.
would have. So would Jared.
I could be a lesbian, so.
Okay, did
I'm down for-
did y'all discuss Vegas and like when Joe got into the club yet? Are y'all
Got into the club.
I got into
like
the
where like
club.
you knew Joe was like you said like when people get into your inner circle like where
So it wasn't Vegas.
No.
okay
for
so
us.
when was it? That's what I'm asking.
It must have been at your house at some point.
I feel like if I have to
Because
think,
you have to understand we're at a level now where the three of us like go out and do stuff
I
together.
know.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
I
So
love
like
this little-
obviously Joe made it into the
y'all
super
my
secret.
favorite
feel-
throuple,
Hey,
no doubt.
Joe
I
made it
feel
into the
like
super
it's-
secret club. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even
I
know how
feel
I got
like-
in here. Like somebody was just like, "Hey, I got an extra pass," and I was like, "I'll go."
If I really feel like I'm gonna tell you what happened, since I was there as well.
Let me tell you what happened, Joe.
I believe that it was an accumulative amount of time that we had spent
Oh,
together.
for sure.
It was not like one specific time where like this dude's in the club. It was more like over a period of time, I've proven myself to be someone that's just a fun person to be talked to and to hang out with.
But I
And
feel like there had been a moment that Renee recognized that. Like she was like, "Oh, yeah," you know what I mean? Like
It had to have
Maybe.
been. So I want to, if I'm trying to timeline our relationship here, we met each other in Vegas in 16. Now, how soon after that was that Texans game we went to? We all went together. Was that had to have been shortly after?
it was the next football season, probably.
Because that's also
so
when
17.
you picked up the dog for
no, it's probably
Pat.
still 16, right? Because we went to Vegas in summer.
I mean, I could do the research and find out.
It was
Well,
probably-
it doesn't need to be like perfect, but I'm just thinking.
No,
I
it
remember
was like
getting the dog
16,
for Pat.
17 because
Remember
I
that?
moved into this house like in 18 or whatever, and we were still living in an apartment. So
That
like,
was a cold ass fucking game.
yeah.
Well,
Anyways, but yeah,
so
it was shortly after that.
we tailgated early,
Mhm.
and I feel like y'all came in a day early, and then
He did. I got off work and
Hey.
came in that morning. I remember
Can
that.
can I say something really
Uh-huh.
quick?
Mhm.
Hey, just go ahead. Like fuck all y'all. Like I drove home.
what did we
Whoa,
do?
dog.
I drove home and drove like y'all had a minivan or something. What'd y'all have? Like
Yes, we had the minivan.
and all the way home, Aaron just might bitch about it when I drive, but I was the
I
only
remember
person that was
this.
willing to stay sober enough to drive, and y'all just all bitching. I was like,
Time
fuck
out.
y'all, man.
Time
Everybody
out.
was yelling at me. I was like, that's
No,
not
no.
cool.
I
You know what I'm
remember
talking
this.
about, right, Joe?
It was
Yeah.
not everybody.
I remember
It
this.
was a person, and we can keep her nameless. Name
Well,
starts with a ends with a, but it's fine.
I remember that. It was definitely her.
Absolutely her.
It was all her.
Obnoxious
I don't even-
backseat
I didn't
driver.
remember she was even at that game until you just brought that up. Yeah,
Now, listen.
I remember. Yeah.
It was also a Vegas issue too. But I won't go there.
You're still on camera when you do that.
All right,
I
let's
remember.
get out. Let's get out of the
Anyways.
deep. Get out of the
Anyways,
deep.
yes.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I do remember that. I remember the arguing on the way back. I do because I got off that morning at like I think I got someone coming early for me at like 8 a.m. and I drove straight out there to get there in time to get to your house to drive out there. That was it.
So was it the Texans game?
no.
Is that where
Well, I'm just trying to timeline everything, and then there was also a birthday, and it must have been Jared's because we went to some restaurant.
sushi?
Yeah.
It was sushi-ish.
And we went dancing.
And then we went dancing after.
Remember that too.
And I think that was
You danced with Joe?
I did.
Oh, hey.
And no. It's not a good story.
What?
He yelled at me.
How you yelled at her?
Yes, he did.
I did not.
I think
never
this is
yell
what.
at
Yes, you
anybody.
did.
No, that's not true. It's not true.
He did. And here's why.
What?
It's fine. It wasn't like angry yelling.
I don't remember this at
But-
all.
It's like best friend yelling or what?
Yeah, kind
I
of.
don't remember this
It
at
was
all.
so we danced and I
Denial.
I've only danced with one person for so long, right? Like Jared has a very specific style, and I feel like anyone that's from his wing of town,
Renee, you don't even have to tell
No,
me
I know.
because I know so bad.
So-
we call them tornadoes.
Them
Which
Yankees,
is fine,
Yankees the
but-
Cowboys.
I
I love you, Jared.
I know, I do too. But it's so like
It's very precise to
It is.
where he grew up.
I
Absolutely.
could stand here and do the dance by myself, leading myself and following myself. Like it's very
You don't even need Jared.
It's
I don't.
formulaic.
It's very and it's fine because
People think you're crazy.
listen,
but yeah.
no, I never knew how to country dance. It was not a thing we did as a kid. We didn't go to the bars. We didn't
Right.
have country bars. We didn't Schrader Hall kind of thing didn't exist where I grew up.
Me either.
So to country dance was a whole new phenomenon to me. And so when I would go in college, when we would go home for the rodeo or whatever it was in Schrader Hall, and just to watch all of the high school buddies go out there and just do it, I was like,
Hey, so listen to this.
no, let me finish my story.
Oh well, just really quick side. Okay, you can finish. You finish. I always go.
So Jared taught me how to country dance.
Right.
And it was fun because he is all the swirls and turns, and that's all fun
He's-
for me.
he's
I loved
good.
it.
He's actually
Yes,
good.
very
yeah.
good. He
It's his very specific style.
but any friend of his that grew up in that same area, except for you,
Hey, and I'm going to explain that.
I know that's not where we're
Yeah.
going, but yet I can dance with all of them because it's all the same push and pull movement, right? And I can pick up on it real quick because I'm not a natural dancer. I can learn it, but I'm not a quick study. So it takes me a little bit. So I go dance with this one, who's a dance instructor doing his thing with Maverick or something, wherever you were working at the time.
Rebels.
Rebel.
Yeah.
So we get out there and he starts off and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I'm off. What am I doing? So I start dancing and I'm looking at our
She's
feet.
like, what
Yes.
are you trying to fight me? What are you trying to like this
No, listen.
it's like monkey trying to fuck a football. What's going on here?
So I start and I'm dancing and I'm looking at his feet and he's like, don't look at my feet. Just dance. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I don't know how. And he was getting
It's like
frustrated.
jumping off the deep end. You're like, what the fuck happened? How'd I end up here?
And so every time we start moving again, I'm like kind of like trying to look at his feet to see what he's doing. He's like, stop looking at my feet. I was like,
Oh,
I'm so
Joe.
sorry.
Joe.
Oh,
so
you know why I'm so ashamed? I get on people for doing that shit so much. Like I hate when guys do that to girls and just assume that they're supposed to know what to do. Like whenever I teach guys, I always go, it is your fault if they suck. Like it has nothing to do with them because you have to lead them. And if they don't know how to follow, you teach them, right?
Right.
And I don't know if I just drank too much or if I was too comfortable with you or what.
it doesn't
but
matter.
I feel really bad now.
No, don't feel bad at all.
I do.
Obviously, we're still
I feel
friends.
bad.
So I just
That's
that's
so bad.
really where I remember our interaction. And I don't know if that was a birthday. I want to feel like
It was Jared.
It was Cher's birthday.
it was a birthday and we went to a country bar in Katy
Mm-hmm.
and
Far West.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
What was it?
but I think that was after football because we had done Vegas. There was that football game.
Yeah.
Oh, because we got the guitar out that night with the foot.
Yeah.
After you stayed a little later that night, they had all left because y'all had gotten the dog for Pat,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all had
No,
left.
'cause
Yes,
I rode back with them that day. I remember that.
no, because you had your own. You drove in late. You had your truck or whatever you drove. You drove in by yourself. You stayed a little later,
Maybe. Okay.
and I had just bought the guitar, and you're like, "Oh, go get it!" And we
that's
started plucking
right.
at it, and still haven't learned how to play it, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So like you're right. So it's like little things because he was never outwardly aggressive to be friends with me, and I was never outwardly to be aggressive friends with him, but it was just over time.
Assertive. Aggressive, it feels aggressive.
You know,
it's the same damn word.
But I understand what you're saying. You know what's funny is it's kind of like the relationship you build with like a kid or like a dog. Like
what?
What? No, listen though.
Fuck.
No, listen. Both ways.
Take another shot.
No. Both ways. Like so, they say with
I feel
dogs,
like somebody just pushed me off a ledge, just like.
Can you
stop looking at my feet?
Can you fucking listen to me? So,
hey, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna randomly yell at Joe. I'm gonna go. Stop looking at my feet.
Would y'all listen real quick? When they say with kids and with dogs, you kind of have to let the person come to you. Right? You have to let them come to you. If you go after them trying to be friends with them, a lot of times they don't want anything to do with you. They cry, all these weird things, right? Like so it's kind of the same. It's sort of a similar relationship. That's all I'm saying is that like we didn't aggressively go after like
so
I have
I'm
to be
the
friends
kid
with this
and you're
person.
the dog.
Let me
right?
say this.
Whatever makes you happy. I don't care. I'm just saying that like it was a gradual.
Right. No, I would
we
agree.
didn't force ourselves into each other's lives.
There
it
was
just
no
happened.
immediate
Right.
like friendship connection,
No.
but over time it built. And
You were like, I'm a good person. I'm like, she's solid as shit. There's no reason why we shouldn't be friends. And that was kind of how
I feel
it
the
worked.
same about you. I feel the same about Scott. And like I said, there's a handful of people that are my ride and dies, and I consider y'all two of them. Like it's just.
I feel honored for that.
You gave her more than 15 seconds.
I feel honored for that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, God, I see what you're saying.
Hey, stop.
No,
stop.
dude, I believe what you're saying, dude. It's a very like.
But we're not dating. We're friends.
I know you aren't dating.
No,
what
but
the hell are you talking about?
But what I'm saying is
an intimate relationship is intimate. Like you can be friends and have like an intimate relationship in the sense of like, hey, I feel what this person is feeling. Like we connect on some level. It doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't have to be.
But I think that what you need to, what I need to explain is that it was an exaggeration of like we sit down and 15 seconds in or 15 minutes and I know immediately I don't want to be with this person, right? But after a date.
Yeah.
Do you think
I totally get it.
Close enough? Is that long enough to be with someone to realize you don't want to be with them or
An
not?
extended.
So
yeah.
Joe, when I drag you over to random people and make you talk to them with me, how does that make you feel?
I have no problem with this.
But sometimes, like, I feel like you get irritated. Like, I feel like
can I talk about last weekend?
Yeah. That's
literally my favorite fucking thing that ever happened. We were not this. That's an exaggeration as well, but. It was hilarious. Like we were at a bar and we had saw a girl from across the bar and I was like, oh, she's really cute. Like he was like, yep, your type, your speed, all that, right? I'm like, okay. And he was like, let's go talk to her. And I was like, chill. And he was like, what's up? And like, I'm a kind of guy who doesn't just like run up to every girl that I think is attractive and go talk to them. I'm fairly shy sometimes. Like I'm not super outgoing. And then I had just told him, I was like, you know what? I realized that like every person is just as like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Everybody's a human. Everybody's the same.
They're all human. Like everyone's human and everyone's just as like, as
insecurities.
Insecure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone's just as insecure as you are.
Sure.
No matter how attractive they are, or how cute they are, how many
Everyone's
guys
got
have
their own
talked to.
issues.
Exactly. Yeah. And I could not have been more reinforced when we finally went over to where she was at because she came to us and talked to us because Scott found these other two girls for us to talk to and they were not anybody that I would have ever dated, but they were interesting enough. They were fun. We were talking to them.
I felt the resistance for you to go over there, which was totally fine. But like, I was just like, what else are we fucking doing? We're just gonna stare at each other.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, just
what
stare,
it did
like,
was
stare at
it
each other.
showed
Just
that girl that we would talk to anyone, and she was like, oh, it kind of must have brought her guard down a little bit.
Yeah.
To go, hey,
well, she started making faces at us. Like she started kind of like trying to maneuver us over to her with her. You don't remember that part? Yeah.
Well, she had done that before we even went over. I was from across the bar. She kept looking at me. I was like, all right. So anyway, then the point is, we went and talked to her, and she was weird as shit. Like she started quoting the wrong quotes from Ted Lasso. I don't know if you've seen that show, but it's amazing. You should watch it. And she was talking about some Kenyans or some Nigerians that she just met, and she was saying that she was using the wrong quote from the movie for the Nigerian that's in the show or whatever. And it was just like, I was just like, I can't talk to this person. Like, she is either too drunk or weird or whatever it was, right? And I go, that is the most positive reinforcement for that everyone is just weird. Everyone has got their own problems.
Oh, no
And
doubt. No
no
doubt.
one is exactly who they seem from across a bar.
No.
And I guess that was a long story to just reinforce that entity of the like, you don't know who you're talking to until you talk to them, right? Yeah. And I think that was what you were trying to talk about in reality of that, like, you need to give everybody a chance because you don't know until you know, right? And then it's the same thing with us. It just took us a lot longer to know. And then when we knew, we knew. And like, we're really good friends, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't trying to break y'all up. I was just asking a question.
Why do you have to get in the middle of our friendship,
I'm not getting in the middle of your friendship.
No.
Besides, this is a threesome, motherfucker.
Scott,
but then I also think about when did you and I really connect? Because I always knew you.
Do you know what? Do you know
Oh
what
my
I?
God.
No. Do you want to know what I think?
What? Go.
Do you think you have a?
I just go ahead, but
okay. If you want to tell me yours, do you trust me to tell you if it's the same thing?
Go ahead.
So you want me to tell you mine first?
Yes.
Okay. This is where I think we connected. Like I think I learned how to be. I think I am fairly introverted, even though I act really extroverted. I think that my insecurities that I didn't see in the past that maybe you saw or other people saw that I just kind of didn't even know they were there. It was kind of me showing that I was just introvert, but I was like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about kind of thing. Right? You follow me so far?
Yes.
And so when Jared and my ex-wife connected, like when they started kind of like, they would hang out and stuff like that, it would just kind of be me and you. And we would just kind of like talk about some stuff and we laugh about some things and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is a side of Renee. I mean, I've known you for a really long time, but this is a side of Renee that I've never really seen before. Like she never really showed this side to me. And it just made it feel vulnerable and then made it feel trusting. And then from that point, I felt like, oh, like we're kind of connected on a different level. What do you think?
Okay, we're going to go back to college.
Oh, fuck.
Remember the calendar?
Way to appreciate your friendship.
Yeah. What?
Way to appreciate your friendship.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, do you want to? So earlier, I was like, do you want to get into going to New Orleans? Do you want to get into that kind of thing?
Oh.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do that. You need to switch with me.
Well, I might switch with you. I don't want to be back on camera.
Yeah, I'd be on camera.
Everybody sees me all the time. Just sit over there. Everybody's fine.
Yeah, I forgot about New Orleans too.
Yeah, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Go calendar. Joe doesn't even know calendar. No, Nobody knows calendar except me and you right now, and you should share it.
Should I? I should not.
Does this still? Is there one around?
I still have one.
Fuck yes. Hey Joe, wait till you hear this story. Hey everybody.
I don't remember.
Hey everybody, are you ready for this story?
I don't know.
Hey,
I know nothing about
This is Scotty's
calendars.
story time with
All
Renee.
I know that somebody got a piercing with Jared's mom.
No, we did.
That was us. That's not what we're
was it the
talking
same
about.
kind of piercing that she got?
Yeah.
Did you all get the same one?
We all got our nipples pierced.
Interesting.
We
I
have a
remember
picture.
hearing that story.
It was you, me, Jared, Lori, Tyson.
Jared didn't do it.
Well, he got his ear pierced or something.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Well, I
Yeah,
know.
if you don't get your nipple pierced,
The people that got their nipples pierced were me, you, Jared's mom,
And Tyson.
and Tyson.
Because
That
Tyson
was
passed
it.
out.
And there's a picture of all the four of us and our nipples somewhere.
We're all
Interesting.
topless with our heads not in the photo. It's just nipples.
What are we talking about? So that was what Joe was referencing, but that's not what
That
Renee
is
was
not-
That's the
referencing.
only New Orleans trip I've heard about.
That was not
All
what
right.
Renee was
Well-
talking about.
Well,
Okay, so back
I've
to
never even been
back
to
to
New
the
Orleans,
calendar.
so-
Back to the glorious calendar that I got to shoot. I got to shoot this calendar. I feel
That's an actual
did.
calendar.
yeah.
It is a calendar. It is.
Can we remake this calendar?
Absolutely
I'll shoot it.
not.
I'll shoot it.
It'd be way better if you did.
Oh my God, it would. Yes. Your photography skills are way better. Let's just leave it at.
Renee, were you December? Were you
You
I
were
was-
in the calendar?
I
oh
was
shit!
triple Xmas.
What calendar is this? Is this like a sorority?
No,
You were in a sorority,
It was a fraternity calendar. We were
Fraternity-
trying to sell fraternity calendars
but why were they in it?
because they were in the like that. We
the white
we
roses.
tried to find hot girls that wanted to be in the calendar.
Oh,
We're trying to
Mary-
make money.
And you
Mary
took
was
the
that
photo?
photo attractive.
Yeah. Hey, and like,
How did you swing that deal?
Because I was the only person. I was the person that came up with the idea.
Well, you were also an art student, so that helps
Exactly.
too,
So,
right?
but listen,
Exactly.
here's the best
He
part.
had some
Yeah.
semi-decent Photoshop skills.
Yeah.
And if you ever
Yeah.
see the calendar, which you never will, they were terrible Photoshop skills.
Hey, look, Joe, imagine this. So, like, I'm shooting this on like a 3.5 megapixel camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which was probably like the shit back
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
day.
it's like as big as you got back then.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I mean, there wasn't iPhone. There was no. You had to have like a really nice camera and like develop film at that point. That's
Right,
how
right.
old that was.
Yeah, you took a photography class
I
to
took-
learn
yeah.
how to develop film.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
I took one of those in high school. I remember that.
You know what
We're
I'm
in
saying?
college, but anyway.
I remember. Yeah. I do dark rooms and all that. I remember how to do it. That is not easy. Because
I didn't wanna do that
there's no
shit.
do-overs. There's no check the monitor to make sure you got a good
Anyway,
photo,
so I
like,
had
none
a
of that.
high-end digital camera at 3.5 pixels, and I was
Man.
taking quality shots
You're a
as best I
So
could.
quality.
You have one of these?
hmm
You know where it
It's
is?
hidden. Yes,
hey,
it's in my
hey,
closet.
Joe,
Can I see this next time I come over your house?
it's pure gold. It's pure
I have
gold.
to see this.
I
We can skip December. I just want to see the rest of it. I want to see what he's
Why
talking
don't
about.
you don't want to see December?
I will tear out
If
December.
She doesn't want to show me. Like, I'm not gonna force
Joe,
her.
she put it up for sale. I mean, like the fact that she
in
still has.
college, she's a different human now. Like, she needs to like.
It's just not attractive. Like
Here's what- okay,
I
so-
looked
so-
at it and I was like,
So let me. Renee, tell me if this is unfair. Okay, I think you're way healthier now than you were in college.
oh, absolutely.
Okay, so and Renee, so
Absolutely.
Renee was
Thick,
thick,
healthy. I
healthy.
was
She was a healthy girl. So
I
her-
also didn't have kids yet.
yeah, and so her boobies were big and healthy, and so we put the triple X over her boobies.
No.
Well, no, is that not how?
No,
Okay.
remember?
I don't remember. Like that's.
I'm not going to repose this, but needless to say, it was a present here and bows.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the exact shoot.
And me wearing a Santa hat.
So that's called living life, Renee. That's called living life.
Sorry, kids.
Like,
Listen, I do not regret anything in college. It was
Hey, no
my
wonder
favorite
Jackson's
years
friends are
of
like-
life.
hey, no wonder Jackson's friends are like, man, your mom's hot.
No.
They've never seen this calendar.
Yeah.
And they would think twice if they did, but no.
So
hey,
I
just
never
think,
went
hey,
to
Renee,
college.
just
I
think
don't get this
there's
life.
no
I don't-
internet, there's
I
no
don't get
OnlyFans, there's no nothing at that point. Just like,
Thank God.
yes.
How did we survive? We would have never.
How'd you survive? You know, I think that like half the people have become more aware of the internet and what they put on it, and the other half have become
Less aware.
not less aware, but
Less
more
care.
aware in a different way of like how I can exploit the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just like anything, there's two halves, right? There's people that are like, nah, I ain't gonna be about that. I respect myself. I guess is the right way that they want to think about it. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing what you want to do. Like, it's your life, do whatever you want. But I think that there's always like two extremes, right? And one extreme is like, how do I make money off this? How do I exploit this? I don't give a crap about what people see about me. They can do whatever. The other half is like, not for me, not gonna happen, right? And then people in the middle that are like, yeah, go either way. Maybe I'll have an OnlyFans, but I won't be like full on porn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Weird shit like that. And I go,
Fair.
how does that's how everything works always, right? Which is kind of the basis of the podcast of like keeping everything in the middle. There's always that group in the
Moderation.
middle. And if you're in the middle, I think you're doing a pretty good job no matter what. In college, you had a lot of good fun. You don't continue to make calendars.
Thank God.
Yeah, you make cakes now. See, it's great.
I was definitely not. So I don't know moderation. I don't know how to do it very well because I'm very extreme. I'm very black and white. It's hard for me to see the gray.
So what do you
That's
so what do you
interesting
do
me.
to
I
try
don't
to
feel
culture
that way about you.
What do you do to try to culture moderation? What do you do?
It's something I still haven't really found a balance to.
I
you
feel
work
like-
you work out, right? Like does that
But
help?
so that's hard for me to find in moderation too because I'm either balls to the wall. I do it hardcore all the time. I eat well, or I'm in shit mode where I eat and don't do anything. Like it's hard for me to, like I don't know, and it's just the way I am. Like I need to do it all. I'm an all or nothing type of person.
Why do you think that is though?
I don't know.
I don't see that with you.
I don't
feel
really see
like-
it either. So
I
like
think
that's why
that
I'm kind of curious
I
about why you
see you as someone who finds moderation in a lot of things. Like, I feel like you raise your kids with moderation.
Hey,
Like a lot?
no, hey, once again, no offense to your husband, but like, I mean, he's a big personality. It takes a lot to like handle him. And so I feel like that if you didn't know how to kind of to handle it like in a moderate way, that it would be exhausting to you. And maybe at moments it is, but I think that you have to try to find balance around him because he has a real big personality, which is totally fine.
I find you very moderate. Like in most things. Like I feel like certain things, maybe working out or eating or anything like that. But I feel like you're a school teacher, but you also have your own business. You find balance in both of those things. All of your kids are completely different. You find a way to balance all of their personalities. You find
and
a way to
Jared
be
make
in the
time
middle.
for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're very good at that. I feel like you probably aren't giving yourself enough credit for that. But I understand why you might feel that way because certain people don't see themselves as the way other people see them as well. And you know yourself better than we do, obviously. But from my perspective, you have a very moderate lifestyle in my
I
eyes.
have a very moderate, medium keel temperament. And that's what most people see. But internally, I am very A-type personality. It is very hard for me to not control every and all situations. And so it's a lot of things that I suppress, which in turn causes other conflicts. But I like to control every aspect of everything.
But do you recognize that, right?
Oh, I know I do.
So the biggest hurdle is just like acknowledging what you're bad at or what where you're lacking, right? That's the biggest part. And then once you acknowledge it, you go, okay, well, I can work on this. You know what I mean? So I think in that simple breath, that's a level of pushing moderation. You're not just going like, hey, well, I'm just gonna stay over here, fuck it.
No, I mean, I definitely am trying to find moderation. I do not feel like I live it. Like it is not easy for me to, like, my level of internal stress runs high on a daily basis because I can't be in control of so many things and I can't make all the decisions. And I have to tell myself I have to allow other people to make a decision on my behalf because I can't always be in charge. And so that creates a struggle and anxiety and stress. And the same with just with living in a house with boys and things aren't always how I want them to be or look. Like I have a lot of anxiety when I walk in my front door and my house is a mess and I want things to be a certain way and they aren't. And excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay. So I know I need to find moderation, but it's not easy for me to do. And it's something that's a daily struggle for me.
But I think just the being self-aware, like just being aware of the fact that you need it. Like I think about how many people just go through their life and they don't even realize, like they assume they're living in some kind of level of moderation or gray, but they're really not, right? And they're not aware of the fact that they're damaging their kind of psyche long term, that they're not it's gonna be really hard to maintain that lack of balance.
Yeah, but it's one thing to acknowledge that you struggle with it, but there's also a whole other level of, well, how do I adapt, or how do I accept that I can't, or how do I accept moderation? Because I don't know. I know I fail at it. I know I need to work on it, but I can't get past, like right now, it just leaves me at a stress level.
I think that failing at it isn't a unique thing. I feel like most people do. Like this is a very extreme world, and people usually find one side versus the other. I think that everybody struggles to find that moderate. If everybody lives in the moderate, there'd be no reason for you to try and do this podcast, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, I think that, but you understand that, like he said, that when you realize, hey, I need to.
But how does one become comfortable in it? Because that's where I start. Because I still have anger and anxiety and stress and resentment towards certain things. So it's like, how do I get past that? Where do you find it? Like, where do you come to self-acceptance of moderation is where it needs to be? And you're like, when you just don't want,
when you're comfortable with the extreme.
Yeah.
What time is it worth to worry or waste on the fact that your house like is a mess because you have 3 boys?
It's easy.
Accepting for what it is.
I think what
Is it worth?
saying-
Like so, like that's what it is. You have 3 boys. So daily, like sweating it over and over and over again, it's just like you're just kind of beating yourself over something.
You're right.
That's what it's gonna.
But I can't get past it.
Right.
But
I
like
think
that's
what
what I'm
she's
saying. But like
saying
you
is
just
that-
accept that's what that is right now. It doesn't mean it's forever.
So I do accept it, but it still leaves resentment because it's still.
You think they're personally doing something
What-
to you?
No.
I don't think her problem isn't realizing that she's being extreme. Her problem is realizing that she is and going, this is how it is, and I don't know how to stop being that way. As opposed to like not understanding that it's not worth it. You can understand that, you know, your shoes are next to mine. I don't like the way that your shoes are next to mine. That's a really unrealistic thing to be upset about. But at the same point is like, if it bothers me, it bothers me. And what she's saying is if she walks into her house and it's messed up, what's going to bother her? And understanding that she needs to be more moderate is an answer, but it's not a solution, right? It's like, how do I get to that point? How do I stop being anxious about that?
I just look at it and go, what is it worth? What is this worth? What is this worth me getting anxious or having anxiety about it? I have a similar thing. I realized that like when I was growing up, my parents never moved the furniture in our house. Okay. It was in the same spot all the time, never moved, never don't even think about moving the furniture. Like this is what it is. It never moves. Right. And so I kind of subconsciously, that's what I do at my house. Well, Erin moves the furniture every other day. Every other day she's rearranging something and it just stressed me the fuck out. Right. And I realized that like, I'm just stressed out because it's just not who I am. But like, does it really matter that she's moving? In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean shit. It's just something that like, I kind of have been pre-positioned towards that bothers me. Now, when she comes to me and she goes, what's bothering you? I'm like, well, you know what's bothering me because you're moving furniture again. But I'm trying to do my best job. I'm trying to do my best job to not let it bother me because I know who she is. She's the type of person that moves furniture. And like, that's fine. It's fine. It's just like, I have to accept her for all of her warts and all the things.
But mine's not
you know?
like rehanging a picture or moving a chair. Mine's like, here's the laundry hamper, but here's the dirty clothes on the floor. Or here's the shoe rack, but here's the shoes. Or it's like, I have set up a home where there's a place for everything and everything in its place, but yet it's always ignored. Right? Like I have designed a home that should be clean and organized. And I'm not talking about like come in, take photos of my house clean, but like shit goes places because I've designed it that way, knowing that I've got people and kids and things that when you have a dirty clothes, put it in the fucking hamper, not on the floor next to it, in it. Or, you know what I mean? It's like that things.
So
like that is what, like, that's what I look at it and I am trying not to like spit blood, you know,
Look, am I naive to ask this? Am I naive to go like, so just go one, two, three. Which one is it that doesn't put his clothes in the hamper?
all of them.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
They're boys,
So
bro. Boys don't do shit.
have you ever just gone out to them and asked them why?
No, I just tell them, can you go put your shoes where they go?
No, but I'm just saying like do you?
There is no why.
No, but I'm saying, is this a naive thought? That's what I'm asking you to go up to them and go like, hey, look, I'm telling you right now, it bothers me when you do this. So every time you do it, can you just tell me why you do it? Like, if you know it bothers me, why would you continue to do it? I'm just curious.
They're adolescent boys.
That's fine.
Their
That's
frontal
the answer.
lobe is not fully developed.
Okay,
That's
so-
what I'm going to blame it on.
Okay,
Mine barely got developed, Scott.
so you need to accept that their frontal lobe's not developed and they're just not going to do it.
But it is something they should be able to do. That I am not
They don't
asking.
have a frontal lobe or whatever.
I'm not asking them to
have a frontal lobe.
They have a frontal lobe. It's not
See,
fully developed.
This is where you don't understand me. It's fine.
No, I do.
I understand what you're saying.
It's just, it's not because they can't do it. It's because I've designed a system for it to happen. I've enabled them to do it on their own so that I am not doing it for them. And I am trying to teach them, this is how you properly put your dirty clothes away or whatever it is. But instead of, and the kicker is the door is open. The basket is right there, and everyone just throws their shit right by it. I'm going to take a picture next time and send it to both of you, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Even your basketball player can't make a basket?
Hey,
No.
You don't have to. We were both adolescent boys. We understand what you're talking about.
I just...
You know...
And listen,
I don't know. I have to ask my mom what I was like, because I kind of think I was very much a perfectionist. So I think my shit was in my laundry basket.
But see, and here's going to be the argument in my home. Well, if you go into our bedroom, I have a pile of clothes that sit in the chair next to my bed, and my bathroom side of the sink isn't always organized. But those are my personal spaces, and I feel differently about personal spaces. Like, if it's your bedroom and you want to trash it out, I'll close the door. I don't care. But when it's a general space that we all share that I have to walk into and look at on a daily basis, like, why can't we keep that clean and organized? I'm not asking the whole house. I'm just asking for our shared space.
So I'm going to bring up my mom again. The only reason I do is because she's a boy mom as well.
Mm-hmm.
She had 2 boys. She only wanted 2 boys. She had them. She stopped having kids, right? She was like 100% what she wanted, right? That being said, you know, she had to deal with boys when growing up, and same problems and stuff you're probably going through as far as like with laundry and everything. She was what she told me later in life is she was amazed when she would come to my house or my brother's house at how clean and how organized everything was, because it never was that way when we were kids, right? And it's going to blow your mind. I bet it will, because they're going to get to a point where they're like, oh, right, this is, if I don't clean it, it's not going to get clean.
Right.
Right? And my mom went on strike a lot. She would call it that. She goes, we're going on strike. No more laundry, no more anything. I'm not doing anything for y'all. You do all your own stuff. I'm not cleaning. It would last a few days, and she would go back to doing it because she couldn't live the way that we would leave it. And at a certain point, it was like, but she goes, you know what? It was worth it because something stuck. Something stuck to where, you know, things are supposed to be clean. And if no one's going to clean up after you, well, you have to do it. And eventually you were going to get it. And I think partly it was that. And I think partly it was the fire service, and that, like, it's so ingrained in me to clean every day now that because we clean the station every day. Like, it just kind of like, that's what I do when I go home. Yeah. It's the same thing, right? And I think military guys can sometimes gravitate that way. They either go like 100% order or 100% against order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that they go the cleaner route usually help. I think that helps. But I think that, you know, it, because they're young and they're all about themselves. They don't have that outward thinking of, you know, like everybody when they're kids, they go, your life, the world as you know it leaves right about here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually you start to go, okay, yeah, there's other shit out there. There's other people I have to take care of. Our mothers being one of them. And you go, all right, well, now you have to go, when they come over, you want to show your mom that they did what they were supposed to. They showed me how to have a clean house, and this is what it is. And that was at least how I thought about it. When I go, if she's coming over, like, it can't be a nightmare. I'm not going to have her come over and want to clean. That's just not cool. You know what I mean? So I made sure everything was like spotless when they came over. And it was one of those things where it was like, she goes, okay, it was a little bit worth it. So maybe there's something on the like,
I mean, that's
the horizon
wishful
for
thinking
you.
at this point, but maybe.
I think everyone thinks that, but maybe there's something on the horizon for you.
But it's even to the point now that, like, the couch pillows are on the floor, and I'm so tired of walking around and picking up after everybody that I just leave it. And then I'm just angry that they're still there, because I know they're on the floor and they don't belong there, but I'm tired of doing it. But nobody else is going to pick it up. And I'll watch them sit on the floor for days. And I'm just like,
Jared doesn't pick it up?
I mean, he does at some point.
Yeah. Come on, Jared, step it up, bro.
He does laundry and dishes, so I can't fault him. But
he has this thing. Jared strikes me. Like, I know Jared fairly well. Probably not as well as you guys, obviously. But Jared strikes me as the kind of person that when given tasks or given things to do, he excels at them very well. Initiative to do other things on top of that, like me in a certain way, probably not like a strong suit. And not against him. It just kind of somehow some people are wired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm wired. Like, if you give me a task, it will 1000% get done to the best of my ability every time, right? 100%. And if you say this is your job from now on, I will do that 100% all the time. You won't have to ask me. It'll get done. No problem. But if you want me to like, sometimes if you want me to like go find other shit to do, like if I see it, I'll fix it. But I'm not going to like go looking for stuff to do sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's something that I've had to work on because especially with my job where like initiative is like almost everything. Like you have to do it.
Well, that's just my A-type personality. I'm very detail oriented and I see the littlest things and it bugs me.
Yeah.
And that's a fault of my own. And
it's that extreme personality you have there.
And I can see things and say, I gotta let that one go. But there's just, I don't know.
Do you want to know how I handle that? Probably not.
I can imagine how you handle it, but go ahead.
So I'm very much the same way. Like my closet is color coordinated. Like, I mean, like I'm very much, I like that control like concept, right? But I realize that like, as an example, like if I don't like the pillows on the floor, right? And it bothers me, it's my responsibility to pick the pillows. If it bothers me, like if it's bothering me, then I'm just gonna do it. Like I don't get tired of doing it because I don't like it. And I don't give a fuck if anybody else likes it. Like it bothers me, so I'm gonna take care of it. Like, and I do it simply for me so I can feel better around that idea. But I don't know if that's like a weird point of view or like a self-deprecating point of view. But like, I just look at it as like, if it bothers, like, why should I worry about if it bothers somebody else or if they even give a shit?
Well, it doesn't bother anybody else. That's why they're still on the floor.
Right. But it bothers me. So then I just take care of it.
That's not where they belong.
What? Well, I get it.
So I
put them back. That's what I'm saying. That's why I put them back.
And I don't feel like that's an odd request to say, pick up the fucking pillows off the
it's not
floor
an
and
odd
put them on the
request,
couch.
But I think it's a very healthy.
I'm not asking you to organize them in a certain way or do the, tuft in the middle. Take them off the floor. Like, I feel like it's a general housekeeping kind of request.
I feel that, but it didn't feel like that to them. They don't think of it that way. You think of it that way, right?
But that's how it is.
Hey, everybody. You can find my Second Class Cowboy t-shirt on amgpstore.com.